Welcome to the bold analysis. William Samoei Ruto is reported that has never slept, is never sleeping in Statehouse for some critical reasons. And according to the Nation story that was carried on Sunday, there were shocking revelations about how the president's diary has been full of both foreign and local travels. And this has even overstretched the presidential advance team. While if you look at it, what has been treated or what has been explained is that William Samoei Ruto has been so busy since assuming office. Well, that story is supposed to project to Kenyans that William Ruto is sleepless, fighting, struggling to find solutions to our problems. But the essence of being busy cannot still be justified looking at the state of affairs. And today I'll not mince my words. And I want to explain the 6 ghosts why William Samoei Ruto cannot sleep or do not have peace since taking power. What many would actually suggest is, by the time you get power after the rigorous campaign, there is a way you have a lot of support system, like in government. I don't understand why a president should not afford a sleep while taxpayers are paying a whopping 22 ministers. Each ministry is well furnished with human capital, or rather each ministry is also employing other civil servants. And under the architecture of our government, not everything and not all the powers rests with the president. And so most of us were complaining that William Ruto has been launching everything and anything. And even on weekends, each and every day, William Ruto will be doing something. The big question that Kenyans are asking here is, Mr. President, it is true you are not sleeping. It is true that you've put your ministers on toes. But that has not translated to good governance, or that has not translated to very good fruits of Kenya Kwanza administration. And that is why I want us to say this. And let me just give you a snippet of what has been happening. William Ruto left a Nyanza tour, and the next day he was in Nakuru. And after attending a parade, Kenya Forest Service parade in Nakuru, he was again in Nakuru State Lodge to meet with some stakeholders, some coffee stakeholders, milk stakeholders, then flew to Turkana to attend the Tubong Lore Cultural Festival, and after that flew to China for the 3 days state visit in China. And the day he came back in the morning, even some of the people that he flew with decided then not even to go to State House and decided to take a retreat. Well, the president was on Friday in the morning in State House launching Universal Healthcare in State House. And immediately that was done, again, that was on Thursday. Then on Friday, attended the Mashujaa Day, presided over the Mashujaa Day, and could not rest even on Saturday. Saturday there was a state visit by the Angolan president. Then on Sunday, the Sunday service. And after the Sunday service, there was also some impromptu rally in the afternoon. So I just given you a snippet of President's diary. And what many people have been asking here is, so how are all this adding value to the Kenyan taxpayers? For example, how can we say that the president is so busy with a very tight schedule, but on Sunday you attend a church service and a rally? Surely, if you've worked the whole week, after church service, what do you need to do? You also need to rest. So that is why I saw the editors, I think the editors that published that article wanted to achieve an objective. And the objective of that story was to show that, number one, Ruto is not relaxed. Ruto is actually working around the clock to fix the country. So he's also trying to pursue an image that Ruto is a hands-on man. Of course, that is something that most political pundits have argued, that President Ruto is a hands-on man. He will always be hands-on everything. Remember when he was saying that he will call waziris and ask them, and PS ask them what exactly is happening in your ministry. But somewhere mid 1 year after taking power, things seems to be falling apart for some reasons, because unlike the campaign euphoria and the huge messaging of an overnight success, things are actually moving from worst to the worst, because we got ourselves into some deals that were supposed to help us even fix our dollar, but they've not been yielding any fruit. We have actually come bravely to defend a policy that, as Kenya Kwanza, they are not going to subsidize consumption, and they're going to subsidize production. But then that plan seems to have just ended at mentioning. But on its execution, or rather implementation, it's not something that is yielding some fruit. And that is why I think it can be very true that William Ruto is not a man at peace. And of course, governance being one of it, but there are also people that are not giving president peace. So ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel. That is what I want to look at, and I want to break down the 6. Number 1, greatest fear William Samoei Ruto have in this country is, am I going to be a one-term president? And I want to repeat this. William Ruto's greatest fear is, am I going to be a first-term president? And that is why any other thing that is done by government must be seen by the campaign lens. I don't think you need magical science to agree with me that Kenya Kwanza immediately on 13th, starting on 13th September in Kasarani, they started campaigns for 2027. And it has not stopped. In fact, it's actually intensifying. We are on, there is a very interesting argument that William Ruto is insisting that we need to do party grassroots elections in December. While some party members are saying, you know what, it's still too early. William Ruto is on record traversing different regions, and the messaging here is, vote for me. If you remember what he said in Nyanza, he was saying them that, you know, I know Baba is not going to vie, so I need Baba's vote. And the problem, the one demon that William Ruto is facing is a one-term curse. Because the things are not falling. Things are not falling into place. And there are many other factors that are converging against the term. If you look at the opposition politics that are still holding ground, and also the cost of living that has remained a menace, that has remained a very big problem to Kenya Kwanza, it seems to be a ghost that is not going away. And so the reason why Ruto wants to be everywhere in any other part of this country, of any other thing he wants to do, is because he wants political visibility. Political visibility is why he's pursuing early campaigns. And that's why you will see him in church, in Dagoretti. He's never campaigned in Nairobi. The other day, after Jamhuri, you know, you will always find everything, even events or rather projects that should be launched by Waziri. I want to believe that there's some projects that were launched in Nyanza, the 3 days that William brought in Nyanza. Tell me, amongst those projects, which one cannot be launched by Waziri? Yes? Just tell me. Which one cannot be launched by a cabinet secretary? So it's because of political visibility. Number 2, William Ruto is facing the greatest rebellion, especially from his backyard. And his rebellion, according to me, is worse than what Uhuru Kenyatta went through. Throughout Uhuru Kenyatta's first term, William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta were actually buddies, even though there was that simmering breakup, but it never came out clearly. So they were close, they were item. Now, but as we speak now, just 1 year after election, the rebellion is legendary. I saw in Mount Kenya, people are asking, and you can see Gedhano Mushomba and some other couple of leaders are asking, what is in it for us? Or why don't we unite and fight for ourselves? You can see from own backyard in Rift Valley, there is a TikTok rebellion going on there. And they are also asking, you are from this place. What is in it for us? Now, this rebellion is a big problem because it comes from your base. And the reason why it's a big problem is because the more you experience rebellion from your backyard, from your voting, from your constituencies, you tend not to you tend to lose popularity. And if you check, I think there's a report that was captured, and that report was saying that bit of the 1 year Kenya Kwanza regime has experienced a depreciation in the popularity of the president. Now, there is something you cannot wish away. And you know, William Ruto is the kind of the president who will not want to lose even an inch of popularity. Now, with shedding off the popularity at a regime that you're still struggling with the legitimacy issues, there is a big problem. And that is why, how would you even peacefully sleep in that state house? Even with all the trappings of power, with all the proximity to opulence, and all the security that you have, you cannot have peace because that is going on. And let me tell you, popularity is going down, and not even the people around you that you believe could be working towards holding it strong are working in your favor. What am I talking about? Rigathi Gachagua has emerged as one of the greatest challenges William Ruto have. And maybe if there was a time to open up, or some years to come back, to some years ahead, maybe William Ruto might open up and say, you know what, it was probably a political blunder to pick Rigathi Gachagua. If it is not about shareholding, then it is about Mount Kenya. And part of what has emerged as a problem is the fact that he picked a deputy president, and a deputy president from a region that was already divided. And he worked on that division. Now, after an election, the deputy president is working behind the scenes to push and bargain more for 2027. But in the quest of that bargain, he is over-demanding. Remember, I'm saying he's over-demanding because the deputy president is telling Mount Kenya that they need to unite and get their stake in Kenya Kwanza. All the stalled projects that might have stalled because of finances or one reason or the other, the deputy president has emerged as the face of accountability of Kenya Kwanza in Mount Kenya. What would Ruto want in Mount Kenya? What would want in Mount Kenya is not the leaders to go and start asking residents that what is in it for us. And that is why the question of shareholding had to be silenced at some point, because it was actually awakening the masses. It was awakening the Mount Kenya masses, like, what exactly it is. And you know, the gap between Raila Odinga and William Ruto was 200,000, according to what Chebukati announced. Then Raila Odinga got, Rigathi talks about 13%, but with all fairness, I look at it as around 17% or so. But even that 13% was more because Raila has been getting 3% in central Kenya. So what exactly is going on there is the over-dependence in Mount Kenya in 2027 is not viable. So you need to make political inroads in other areas. But even as you make political inroads, as you try to bolster the party, the one thorny issue here is, do you have a track record? And truth be said, there is no track record for William Ruto, even as we speak now. The shilling has hit today, the 23rd Our shilling is actually dropped to 160 against the US dollar. Actually, it's the highest. Today, you can check. 160. And this was, things are not turning. Now, I listened to the Deputy President saying in Nyeri that, you know what, brace yourself for hard times, because there is going to be the war in Palestine and Israel, between the two countries, is going to also affect the cost of fuel. So the cost of fuel is still going to increase yet again. And you know what? This is one of the problems that the president has faced. So I honestly do believe that while many might interpret the sleepless night story as a working president, but for me, so quite a number of things are not falling apart. And that is why you will realize that William Ruto has been coming actually in public a bit angry. And when he's speaking about, whenever he's speaking about the government and the way some people are not working, he's a bit angry. And he's a bit angry for some reasons. And I want you to listen to a couple of the video clips. You'll realize that whenever he's speaking about those in government, those who are not working, he's a bit angry because things are not working into space. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Let's meet in the next podcast. Asante. I was shooting this somewhere. This is Jacaranda. Yeah, so yeah, I do come here to attend that Bunge la Wananchi so that I listen to what guys are saying. So I decided, oh, fine, can do something here. So that's why I had a different environment. So apologies for the disruptions. Of course, that people are passing here and there. And yeah, thank you.